Hey there, Fints friends, it's Oliver, and this video is about feints in FC Christmann's military saber. After I demonstrated all the different kinds of secondary cuts to you, it is time to use them in some exercises, and what could be better than doing them with some feints. A feint is a fake attack. So you start, for example, by cutting the head, but when the opponent goes to his head guard, you switch to another target. The goal is simple. You want to hit, and because there are many fencers who could parry a simple direct attack very easily, you have to fool them by a feint. Because if the weapon is elsewhere, it could be harder to get to the right place after you got that this was just a feint. Christmann has different kinds of feints. First, feste Finten, second, flüchtige Finten, and third, Scheinhiebe, which belongs to a different kind of story. I will come to that later in this video. Today we will focus on the festen Finten, the firm feints. These are also great exercises for precision and the way you cut your main cuts. If you gave him, let's say, a feint in quart and a cut to the flank, he would parry prime like so. And you can already see the problem here. A feint did not work very well if he has no time to react. And our cuts are fast and small, as our cuts are. So do not cut in a hurry, but with intention. For a feint, it is important to stay out of range to avoid a counterattack or a riposte, because if the other one does not get that it's a feint at all, this may lead to a double most of the time. So we do not lunge, but just lean forwards in a Vorbiegung, or sometimes we could do a half lunge instead, or simple stay on guard. But for the exercises, we stay with the leaning because it's also a good workout and it's harder than the half lunge. So I lean and I feint. And if he would parry, I stop my cutting motion, give it a new target, cut and lunge. This re-aiming could just be done in a small circle or with swinging moulinets. It depends on the combination which is faster. Normally, people will tell you, do not touch the opponent's blade. And it's a good advice. The missing contact disorder the opponent even more because he is kind of waiting for the impact. And if it's not there, the reaction would take even longer. And also, if there is a contact, the opponent could go blind for a riposte, which is not what you want to have now. But Christmann advises us a small touch on the blade, which is a great learning opportunity because you learn how close you can go. Many people switch the target too early and don't get the turning point because they could not wait. So go for the combinations for a little bit of contact. You can hear the difference between a hitting feint and an ordinary cut. A thrust is an even worse feint because its movement is very small, because the arm is not bent and you do the thrust mostly by the leaning motion, which is very small. But we will now give you a demonstration on how the feint lessons in Christmann's book looks like. As in the other exercises, everything finishes with a parry, so no one gets hit. And this is why Christmann himself do not advise protection gear outside of Kontrafechten. So, while you feint by leaning, he parries the feint with a leaning backwards, and when you lunge, he parries with a slip. That would be half of the exercise, because from here he will do also feint to you. And what you can see is that the feint as a riposte, because of the step on guard, is a way more threatening because of the body movement. And you can simply do them by its own, just going back on guard. But we also add the leaning for more learning opportunities. And he cuts and you parry with a slip back. And now let's have a look at the combinations from Christmann's book. But first, do me a favor and like and subscribe to help us grow. I told you we will have a quick talk about the Scheinhiebe, which are also feints, but a different kind. And Christmann will cover this topic later in his book with the coup de maître. Yes, these are Meisterhaue. A Scheinhiebe is a apparent cut. So it is a regular cut that have no intention to actually hit. We want it to get parried and want our opponent to riposte, so we can use his tempo for our own attack in a proper way. So I would just cut, do a half lunge, and if he riposts in my given opening, I do something like that. And that separates the word Finte from Scheinhieb in German, even if it's like it's another word for the same thing. Just a quick reminder, there is already a translation of the fundamentals out there. So everything I demonstrated you so far in the videos could be read in this little booklet. You will find a link on Lulu in the description below. So see ya in the next video.